Hey everyone, and welcome to This Note. Today, we're diving into some incredible source material to bring you a real global masterclass on how passive income actually works and exactly where you can start building your own digital assets. Think of this as a professional mentorship session. We're going to unpack the research on how to finally stop trading your time for money and instead start building a future-ready portfolio.
Okay, let's kick things off with a massive reality check. We really need to address the elephant in the room and ask the question we all secretly want the answer to. Is the dream of zero-effort wealth an actual reality? Can you really just set something up, walk away, and get rich on a beach somewhere?
Well, spoiler alert, no. Genuinely passive income, where you do absolutely zero work forever, is kind of a myth. But, and this is a massive but, leverage. Leverage is very real. Drastically reducing the relationship between the hours you work and the income you earn is entirely possible. And honestly, that is the real magic we're unlocking from our sources in this note today. Here is the mentorship blueprint we've distilled for you. We're going to cover rethinking passive income, the digital asset engine, models, automation, and AI, getting to your first $100, and finally, the asset flywheel.
All right, Section 1, Rethinking Passive Income. Let's look at the actual realities of income.
The fundamental shift we have to make here is moving away from the active model. That's where your time plus your skill equals your paycheck. If you stop working, the money stops cold. We want to move to a passive model where you create and automate to earn. In this world, your asset operates without your continuous direct labor. You build a machine once, and it does the heavy lifting for you. So a much more accurate term to use is actually semi-passive. It's like a three-stage rocket. First, creation, which requires a heavy upfront investment of your time, knowledge, or capital. Then comes stage 2, ongoing maintenance, and stage 3, continuous optimization. You're definitely still working, but you're managing and improving a system now, rather than manually performing every single transaction yourself. Moving right along to Section 2, the digital asset engine. Let's look at the mechanics behind a scalable business. So, what's under the hood? The core engine of this business boils down to a very specific formula. Your potential passive income equals your asset plus your audience and distribution plus monetization plus automation. Take an ebook, for example. You add search traffic, book sales, and automated delivery, and boom, you have a business. But remember, if just one of these 4 components is missing, the whole engine stalls out. Now, this is where it gets incredibly cool. The absolute strongest digital businesses combine these 4 types of leverage to literally multiply their productivity. You've got technology, like software automating your tasks. Content, which scales infinitely to thousands of people at once. Capital, investing money for returns. And distribution, leveraging huge platforms to reach global customers. Stacking these forms of leverage is exactly how you break the traditional income ceiling. Okay, Section 3, models, automation, and AI. Let's talk about the modern digital assets you can actually create today. If you're just jumping into the digital economy, these are some of the most accessible models out there. We're talking ebooks and guides, online courses, software and SaaS, newsletters, and even templates and spreadsheets. What makes things like digital products and courses so insanely powerful is that you create the value exactly once, and you can scale the delivery infinitely. There is zero physical inventory to manage. And here's where the automation steps in and does the magic. A customer buys something, the payment is processed securely, the product is delivered instantly, and a follow-up email goes out, all without you lifting a single finger. Your business is awake and transacting globally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Of course, we've got to talk about the future, which means talking about AI. It is an unbelievable productivity multiplier for streamlining your workflows, accelerating research, and drafting content. But and this is absolutely crucial, it doesn't just automatically spawn a profitable business out of thin air. You still desperately need a real audience and a highly valuable human-centric solution. You just cannot outsource customer trust and quality control to an algorithm.
All right, Section 4, your first $100. This is all about validating demand.
Listen, before you start dreaming of $10,000 months, your very first target should literally just be this, $100. This milestone isn't about getting rich. It's about validation. It's the ultimate proof of concept that a real human being out there in the real world is willing to pull out their credit card and pay for the value you created. Once you prove that demand exists, then you can focus on scaling up traffic and conversions to hit your first $1,000. To put that into perspective, that's just 50 sales of a $20 product. Very achievable, right? Just keep a close eye on your software and platform fees, because at the end of the day, profit is what actually goes into your pocket, not just top-line revenue. So here's your launch playbook based on the research. Please, whatever you do, don't spend a whole year building a product in secret. Instead, find a very specific audience problem, build a minimum viable asset, wire up your automated delivery, and just launch it quickly. Get it out there. Collecting real-world feedback from actual users is infinitely better than striving for some hidden perfect product. Finally, Section 5, the asset flywheel. Let's talk about compounding wealth. You really don't have to look at these digital assets as isolated little islands. They can actually reinforce one another to form this beautiful, highly professional, connected digital ecosystem. Your blog pulls in search traffic, your YouTube channel grabs viewers, and they both can funnel people straight to your premium courses or SaaS subscriptions. They feed into each other. And that interconnected portfolio creates this massive compounding flywheel effect. Your useful content drives free traffic, which builds an audience, which naturally leads to product sales. Then the feedback from those sales helps you build an even better product, which attracts an even bigger audience. Essentially, your active effort today continuously funds the creation of assets that become powerful, semi-passive revenue streams tomorrow. So as we wrap up this note, I really want you to shift your mindset. Stop asking how to make money doing nothing. Instead, ask yourself this: what valuable asset can you start building today that will keep creating value for you tomorrow? The opportunity for real leverage is literally sitting right there waiting for you. You have the blueprint, you have the strategy straight from the sources. Now it's time to take action, solve a real problem, and start building your future.